I think it's normal to be lost. It's nothing bad to be lost. All our life we are lost. I'm 46 years old. I'm Robert from Romania, born in Bucharest. I have some schools in the background, like Philosopher. I'm passionate about books, and now I'm working in real estate. I work in real estate in Bali. First of all, why? Because philosopher is about love of wisdom, philosophers. I think you don't become, you're born. You're born with predestination, some preferences. So we have some already inside us, something like settings already, pre-settings. So you don't become, or actually that is a question from the entire humanity. You are who you are, or you become because something happened to you. So was already your destiny to be who you are, or with some changes in your background, you can have a million of possibility to be the person who you are today. Understand? So maybe sounds a little crazy, but this is philosophy. Questions like this, who doesn't give any nothing in reality, is just the sake of the question, just for that. No, nothing practical. For that, maybe philosophy now is not a trend, because it doesn't bring any reality, like just for the beauty of the thinking. Yeah, it's a very good question, and it's good to reflect on it. But I think philosophy is like this. First of all, the first stage, and maybe the most important, is psychology. For that, it's so much trendy now in the world, because everybody trying to heal something. We all have being alive, being human means to have already some traumas, in the pockets. Like because in philosophy we say every single human have already a conviction to that in your pocket. So you need to live subconsciously with this trauma, and then you need to, to give a purpose to forget about this conviction. It's already here, everybody have it. We know sooner or later something will happen. What I see is like psychology maybe will heal you the first level. Let's say like your childhood, you're gonna understand yourself better. You're gonna put in good categories what do you feel, like your feelings, your emotions for the short term, and feelings for the longer term. And then you are ready. Let's say you are ready. Now you are healed, and like Dostoevsky say in Notes of Subterraneans, he prepared himself so much. I don't know the translation of the title if it's good in English, but in Romanian sounds like that. He say, okay, now I am ready, I dream, I prepare myself, now I am ready for the walls of reality. Understand? Now I'm going to reality. And when he go to reality, he find the girl, he fall in love, but he blow the chance, because the childhood was too much bumping him, he couldn't face it. And then he go back home and he say, oh my God, that was reality, I wasn't prepared, I need to prepare myself. So let's say that can be psychology. Philosophy now coming with a meta view. Now I am ready, but what to do? Understand? Okay, I'm ready to do many things, but what to do now? What is the meta purpose of my life? What I'm looking myself in my own life. Understand? So it's like this, like you have a micro view of your life. I'm here, I focus on my relationship, I focus on my higher purpose, I focus on my gym, I need to make good body, I need to do cold showers, I need to do plunge things, I need to have a good body, have a good mind. But philosophy is like, okay, but what I'm looking in higher perspective, because sooner or later the bigger questions, they will come in our life. Maybe not now when we are still young, I'm not so young anymore, but will come, maybe 60, 65, 80 years old, we're gonna think about meta perspective, And philosophy is like a preparation for the death, even when you are still alive. It's like you prepare yourself to have a peace of mind to answer the biggest question of your life. Because also I have a theory, all our lives, if you look in the background, we lose ourselves, doing many things, chaotic. We want to feel, we want to experience, we want to do things. We go in this vortex, And then we try to understand ourselves and we find ourselves. We lose first time ourselves and then we find ourselves. For that maybe many people come in Bali, we are in Bali now, because people, they want to find themselves, you know. We have an expression in Romanian language, when you run too much, you need to wait for your soul. Oh, I need to recover my breathing, my soul. We call it soul. Psychology, it's psyche. Psyche is from Plato, means the breed, you know, psyche. Psychosophos, the science of the soul. So you need to wait your soul, because why? You do too many fast things, fast forward, and you didn't have time to process them, to understand, and then you're waiting for yourself. It's the same with a plane, you know, when you fly too fast, you know, you need to wait like 1-2 days to feel yourself again back in the body, something like that. So with Bali, if we make a metaphor, I think it's the same. Like here we find ourselves. It's like a training for the soul. We recover ourselves and then we go back in the battle of the life. Then we keep doing this process. I don't know, maybe it sounds nonsense, but it's one of my theory. Maybe it's foolish, you know, I don't know. What matters to people, you know? I think matters for everybody want the same, you know? We all want to do something with this life, you know? It's nothing extraordinary. We are here and it's interesting because we are in 2023 and for example, we still don't know what to eat. We are in 2023 and we follow people to say how to sleep, how to eat, what to think. We always need someone to influence our life, and we are in 2023, and it's a very, very good opera or something by Samuel Beckett, and it's called Godot, Waiting for Godot. There are two people in the road, and they are waiting for someone to say what to do, you know, and they say, oh, what, we go left, we go right, we go left, we go right. They say, no, better wait for Godot. Godot, I think it's a metaphor for God. Godot from God, you know, and He's need to come and say, go that way, because we can say like we are stronger or wiser or smarter, but we are still the same people. Even it's 2023, even we have so many tools like artificial intelligence, we have technology, we have super VR, but inside us we are the same. We are not smarter than, for example, Homer, who wrote the Iliada and Odyssey 2000 years ago. And he was blind, and he remembered Iliada and Odyssey, which they are like this. Imagine like this. Now we are 8 billion people on the planet, but I think nobody can memorize something like that, you know, it's impossible. So how we call ourselves, we are much better now, we evolve. So actually inside, I think we didn't evolve too much. We evolve outside, yeah, we have better clothes, we have better cars, we have amazing technology, but for me, it's inside. I want to see the updates, let's see like that, inside, not outside. Okay, outside you can have amazing, but it's important how you feel inside. I'll now be more precise with your question. I think it's normal to be lost. It's nothing bad to be lost. All our life we are lost. We are looking for direction. Nobody knows, you know. So my idea in life, it's nobody knows. When someone say, I know the answer, and I don't have doubts. If it's something I never like people who have doubts, to say this is the way. In philosophy, we never say this is the way. We say we have 1,000 questions, answer yourself. We say like the very good question already have the answer inside. Put yourself the questions, and then you can find your own way. Nobody knows the way. We are all lost. We have so many worries, you know, worry for the day from tomorrow, you know, the taxes, the quality of life in Europe, the expenses. We have worries because you see in relationship, if you don't hire some targets, maybe your partner can leave anytime, because we want easy way and we don't want anymore to work in the relationship. We don't want to overcome the problems. At the small signs of the weakness, we interpret our partners is weak, and we want another people who is strong because we want to claim the stairs of the progress. So or other things like jobs, we can lose jobs anytime because now it's a big progress and there are 1,000 people waiting in the door in the back. So all this, they put a big stress on our existential life. With all these burdens, we still need to make it, you know. What we can do is to encourage ourselves, beauty of life. Nobody knows. Okay, we can say like Happiness, maybe there are simple moments, eating ice cream, going in the park, or watching the sunset. But the question is, when you have all these burdens and you do these simple moments and you go back home, you will still feel the same thing, or the burdens, they will have such a heavy weight and they will put you little ground in the ground. At age 43, my life, I could say until 43, was perfect. I travel a lot, I am free, I can do everything I want. And then suddenly one episode happened in Vietnam. I discovered I have something in my head, I born with something. This is called in medicine, it's called alom incident, something like that. It's a very beautiful psychologically term. You can use like a metaphor, because it's something like, when you know you don't know, it's not a problem. Once you know and you are aware, becomes a big problem. So this is a very interesting battle. So when I find this, becomes a big problem. We need solution, you know. We discover is like, I have 3 sisters, and one of my sisters, when she was small, always when she find the crack in the wall, she always scratch until become a big hole. So I think this is our human behavior. Always we are looking for a contradiction or problems, and we scratch until we have something to do later to fix. So what I want to say with that, the balance, the Zen, the strong mind, it's tested in the middle of the problems, not on a side. It's very easy to have a good life and no struggles, and to say to others, oh, you need to be happy, you need to be motivate others. For example, me, if I choose to be motivated by someone, I will choose, for example, a garbage man. Someone who clean the garbage in the street, like maybe 5 in the morning, and that man always wake up and feed his family. For me, it's a motivational stuff. Being outside, for example, like it's a big, I don't give any names, but it's a big motivator, like a speaker, and he have a good life, he do cold shower stuff, and he do motivational stuff like TV shows. No, I will never want to be motivated like someone like this. I want someone who really face the problems, you know. It's easy to say, yeah, everything is okay, but I want someone who really struggle in this. So life is not perfect, but we can try to become ourselves maybe more strong. And philosophy, I think it's a good training to strengthen the muscle of your brain. So you can have big muscles, can be super strong. If the muscle of your understanding, they are weak, at the first pale of the wind, we are like Samuel Beckett in Godot, you know. We waiting someone to push us actually in direction, because we say like when you don't know to choose something, because now I think it's a big problem. We don't know what we want. We don't know what we want. We are. I talk about myself also. All I'm talking now is actually it's about myself. It's not about others. So we don't know exactly what we want, and then we try to grab this experience, or we are waiting and someone will take you in his experience. This is the worst scenarios, when someone trap you, we take you in another experience, and you wait there like maybe few months or years, and then it's not your life, and then you become prisoners. You become like a prison.